Hey guys, welcome back to Office Hours with the Professor, the show where I say things. Today, historical Chinese badass bros, part 1, Da Yu. So, Chinese history is pretty darn rich, and I, for one, think it's an absolute travesty that it's so little known in the West. So in this series, I'd like to do my part to fix that by talking about 4 of my heroes from China's long history. And in my opinion, these are some of the greatest men ever to live, not just in China, but in all of human history. You know, when I'm talking about them with my Chinese friends, I like to call them my big brothers, or in Chinese, Daga. So let's see if I can write that. Da. My Dagas, my 4 big brothers. So, Daga number 1 is Da Yu. Okay? And Da Yu is the oldest of the 4 big bros, and he was a semi-legendary emperor who lived during the 21st century BC. I guess we should say BCE, because not everyone is, following the Christian religion, but that's 21st century BCE. So we've already talked a little about him, but it's worth repeating one more time how much ass this guy kicked. This dude was awesome. My man Da Yu was basically the model of an enlightened sage king, and he's been revered throughout Chinese history for his accomplishments and the dedication with which he served the people. Now, Da Yu was born at a time in Chinese history when, anyway, according to legend, the land was stricken by a terrible flood. Whole harvests were ruined and the people were starving to death. So when the flood struck, Da Yu had just gotten married. Regardless, he left his wife behind and got right to work. So for the next 13 years, Da Yu worked without a break to control the floodwaters. 13 years without taking a breather to control the floodwaters. Okay? And legend has it that 3 times he walked by his house's doorstep but refused to go inside and rest while his people needed him. And even though he was the emperor, no task was beneath him. He worked, he ate, and he even slept alongside the workers and the laborers. So by the end of his 13 years of work, his hands and his feet were covered in these rough calluses as if he were just another common peasant or laborer. So finally, it became apparent that no amount of ditch digging or dike building could stem the raging flood. The very course of the river Yangtze would have to be changed. So what did Da Yu do? He traveled up the river, he took his magic battle axe, and he split the very mountains asunder, forming a new course for the river and saving countless lives. But his work wasn't over yet. Da Yu also had to kill this terrible 9-headed serpent that had been causing all of the floods in the first place. Now, having tamed the floodwaters and slain the dragon, Da Yu went on to prove a capable ruler, founding a dynasty that would rule China for the next 5 centuries. And he had 2 major accomplishments during his reign, okay? So first, he divided the land into 9 provinces, okay? 9 provinces. Okay? And of the 9 provinces, he appointed one of his vassals to be the governor over each. All right. The second thing he did as emperor was along with the provinces, he cast the 9 dings. And I can't resist. I have to show you my ding. Excuse me. Don't worry, it's nothing obscene. It's a ceremonial cauldron. Mine currently has a transformer on top of it. But the ceremonial cauldron called the Ding, and Dai Yu made the 9 bronze dings. And they were these beautiful ceremonial cauldrons that he gave to each of his vassals to symbolize royal authority. Okay, so since then, even to this day, the Ding cauldron has been the symbol of prestige, power, and ambition in Chinese culture. So that's about it for Dai Yu. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you like. Up next, we have my man, the Duke of Zhou. Duke of Zhou. There we go.